Welcome to Friday Gridiron Preview. I am Dr. Jack. This week we'll be previewing the football game between the Minneola Wildcats and the South Gray Rebels. And here with me is Coach Reigo Hahn from Minneola. Coach, welcome.
Hey, thanks a lot. Good to be here.
Now, this week's game, you face a team somewhat different from yours in that you primarily like to run the ball. They seem to like to primarily throw the ball. What challenge does that present for you?
Well, what they're going to have, they got some kids that can run. They got a lot of good athletes over there. That community's known for a great basketball program. And going to state here about 7 years ago to catch Blattner. So they got the athletes over there, and we're just going to have to be able to play a little bit better defense and be a little bit more aggressive on the edges.
Now, being a running team primarily, what does your offensive line add to this particular matchup?
Well, these kids that we got this year, these seniors, they've started since they've been freshmen. So they've went through everything. They got all their, feelings hurt, and this is wrong, and that's wrong their freshman year, and they grew up pretty quick. They had to grow up fast to be able to play, to start for 4 years. So with what we got coming, we're just going to try to pound the ball and kind of speed up the game a little bit and kind of do some no-huddle stuff and be able to just get a little more aggressive with them.
Coach, looking at your schedule this year, you're not afraid to schedule some good opponents, are you?
No, we have really good administration here. We got Spearville. We end up getting South Central along with Ingalls and Kiowa. So, we got a really good administration here. And, if you're going to be successful, you got to have a good administration. You got to have a good school board. You got to have good players and good coaches, and and we got a pretty good community here that's backing us. And our kids, we expect a lot out of them. This group here, the senior group, is a good group of young men. They're that group that you never forget about them. That's the group that is going to hit a coach's heart. But they're going to have to finish it out the year. We got 10 more weeks hopefully to play, and we'll just see what they can bring to the table on Friday.
Coach, I find it interesting, and especially an 8-man on Friday night. What does this game mean to the community? What does it mean to the students in the school and to your players?
Well, it's Friday night. It's a Friday night game. We want to recoup from last week's Spearville team, which is a very good program. But it's one of those deals. These seniors are starting to figure it out that, the days are numbered for them now. There's no more tomorrow. And, we still have one or two that's still trying to figure it out. But, it's over with. Once this season's done with, they're done. And every Friday night's a big, whether it's here or there.
Now, the previous weeks you've had a little bit cooler weather than you'll face this week. Does the hotter weather present any challenges for your team?
No, because the kids that we got, you don't hear them whining and complaining too much. They do a pretty good job. We got good senior leadership who understand that it doesn't matter the climate or the environment. They're going to show up and play. And we know with all the athletes that South Gray has that they're going to be loaded with it too. And, they got a good administration over there with Tim. You just let Mr. Skinner and Applegate. And them guys do a good job with those kids. So, our work's going to be cut out for us.
Well, Coach, let's meet some of your players. Have you introduced them? Tell us their position as well, and then we'll talk with them a little bit.
Okay. The first one's Ethan Schneweis. Ethan plays a little bit of everywhere. He's the kid that if a kid gets hurt, he gets to play it, all but quarterback position. But anywhere else, we can put the kid at fullback, running back, and do whatever we want to do with him. And he doesn't complain or gripe about it. So that's one good thing about having a kid that's ready to play at any position.
Ethan, your coach says you play any job that gets injured. I'm not sure if that's a compliment.
It is to me because it lets me know that every week I know I'm going to play somewhere, and all my teammates will be able to trust that I'm going to be able to do my job.
So what's that like for you in practice in terms of preparation, knowing that you might be called upon at any time to play a different position? Maybe you haven't practiced a lot.
I just learned the playbook as a freshman, learned everybody's position, so it's really not a big deal if I have to move somewhere else during game or practice.
And we take time. We work through it. We're patient with them, make sure that they can know what they're doing all the time.
Now, what excites you about this particular week's contest?
Just being able to play a team that we haven't really faced spread in the past, so it's just a new obstacle, and I think it'll be really fun to play a team that plays spread.
All right, well, let's meet another one of your players. Coach, introduce them, give us their position.
It'll be Chris Temaat, and Chris Temaat, he's our offensive guard and plays defensive end. He does a really nice job for us.
So I've been excited to meet you looking at your statistics so far for the year and your size. What do you bring to the offensive line, and what do you bring control-wise for the running game you guys love so much?
Well, I just try to make a hole whenever I can, and just try to lead by an example for, the underclassmen, so they can, when they're seniors, they know how to do it.
And you talk about that leadership a little bit. Different people have different styles. Some are yellers. Some are guys that say, I'm just going to show you with what I accomplish. Which one are you?
I'll just show them what I accomplish.
All right, Coach, what makes this guy special?
It was just the way he said it. He's a quiet kid. And our deal is we just show up and play. We're not, our staff's not really high yelling people. We don't scream at the kids. We encourage them. That's one thing that he's instilled these younger kids is encouragement, the positive encouragement.
All right, let's meet another of your athletes that you brought with you.
The other one would be the quarterback, Tristan Haynes. He's figuring it out. He's growing up a little bit. He's figuring out now he does need the weight room. He needs to be able to throw the ball in the offseason a little bit more. And it takes kids sometimes a while to figure it out. But this year he's in that role as a quarterback. And now he gets all the, everything comes on his head. If something goes wrong, it comes on his. And he's doing a good job figuring that out.
So, Tristan, what does it mean to be a quarterback of an 8-man team, knowing that so much rides on that position?
I mean, it's not. I enjoy it. I enjoy being in that position where everyone looks to me, and if they need something, I'm there. But the group of linemen that I have they're always going to take care of me. It's not, if I mess up, they're going to let me know, but it's not something like take personal. It's, hey, we got your back. You got it next time. So it's not personal. So,
Coach, looking at the stats for your team, obviously Tristan is a lot of those stats from that quarterback position. How's he able to carry that kind of a load?
Oh, he's fine. Like I said, he's figuring out where it has to be done in the weight room, and that's the thing that he's got it going on for him now. And then, like he said, that offensive lineman, we got the best 5 that I would go with anybody with at different levels. Just for the simple fact is just the heart. They can block inside zone. People watch us, they'll say, well, you only run one play. Well, that's fine because we block it 2 or 3 different ways. So that's the objective that we try to go out with.
So how do you as a quarterback inspire these guys who, let's just say quite honestly, could probably beat you up? How do you inspire them to play hard so that you can look good?
Well, they always do a good job. They come out and give it their all. It's pretty easy with these guys. They're going to give 100%. My job's easy. I just got to come up and show up. So.
All right, Coach, I think you have one more player over here. Let's meet him as well.
This is probably the kid that's the heart of it. This is Wyatt Williams. He's a center. We spend a lot of time together. He does a lot of things right. This is a kid that's going to go out, and it doesn't matter what sport you're doing, in basketball, football, whatever, he'll play the position that he's supposed to play and do well. He's a center. He's been a center for 4 years. It's going to be hard to see this one go, but he's done a great job for us. And, it's just one of those deals where we just try to encourage each other and motivate and be excited about it,
So Wyatt, you play center. How does that feel, being that offensive lineman, the only guy that gets to touch the ball, but knowing that if you don't touch it right, everything kind of falls off the tracks?
Yeah, it's kind of scary at times knowing that the play starts with you. If I get a bad snap, then can't run the good play. But, it's done for 4 years, and I wouldn't want to play anywhere else.
So you have a quarterback behind you who has expressed that you guys do a fantastic job of protecting him. What makes you want to protect your quarterback and see him succeed?
Main thing is, communication with him and the line. That's our job, and we're here to do a job and be successful. And that's yeah.
All right. Well, Coach, you have an outstanding group of athletes. We certainly wish you the best of luck Friday night.
We got a good group, and we just appreciate all you guys doing. Like I say, South grade, just take it easy on us. We're ready for you, but take it easy on us.
All right. We'll be back with more Friday Gridiron preview right after this.
Hi, Chris Jewell, host of High Plains Today, a 30-minute news and information program that airs weekdays at noon right here on TV 23. We talk about news, we talk about sports, we talk about weather, we're even going to talk entertainment. We'll have live guests right here on set with me. So, every day at noon, tune in, High Plains Today. We'll see you then.
Weekdays here on TV 23.
Welcome back We're now in Montezuma, where we are at South Gray High School. We have with us Jesse Hodgson, the head football coach at South Gray for the Rebels. Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
So you have a contest this week against a team I imagine you know pretty well. They seem to be the opposite of you. You like to throw, they like to run. What challenge does that present for you this week?
I know they've watching film this week. They've got a big offensive line, big defensive line, guys that move around really well. Yeah, but our game is a little bit more finesse. It's a little bit more kind of spread them out, see how they're going to react to that.
Now you have a young quarterback that seems to be pretty comfortable throwing the ball. How's that worked so far this year, and how do you see that as a strength for this game?
Yeah, it's definitely nice. Austin Jantz is our sophomore quarterback, and he acts older than his age. He's got a good arm. We've just been working with him on the reads, where he's supposed to go, his progressions there, and he's picking it all up, and it showed last week.
Coach, I've noticed from your schedule that you don't shy away from scheduling some good teams to play. How does that prepare you for games like this and later on in the season?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the old philosophy. In order to be the best, you got to beat the best. And yeah, this is the Southwest Kansas 8-man football is strong, and we know that's a philosophy that we've got to take to heart. And we got to play the best in the state to be able to hopefully get down there and get a state championship.
Now, Coach, besides your quarterback, what are some other areas that you're excited about for your football team this year?
Oh yeah, I mean we're a school just full of athletes. And when I first got here, this is my first year. When I first got here, I knew that they had a strong tradition in basketball and a strong tradition in cross country and track and field. And so I kind of took the approach of, wow, let's get our athletes on the field. Let's see where they're gonna play best at. The first 2 games were a little bit of a learning experience for me, and I think we're finally up and running really well. So I'm excited.
You talk about some of those athletes. Let's meet some of your athletes. We'll have you introduce each one, tell us what position they play, and a little bit about them.
All right. Yeah, well, no, first off, this is Austin Jantz. Right now, he's my sophomore quarterback, and he is, he's getting better every week, and it's definitely exciting to see what he's going to be capable of doing over this year, and then his junior and senior year as well.
Now, Austin, as a sophomore and being the quarterback, what kind of pressure does that put on you to lead upperclassmen on the football field?
It's just tough because you're a sophomore. You know, I came in with no varsity experience really at all, but it's nice because they are very cooperative and they listen. Even if I am a sophomore, they still respect me and they take me as their leader.
Now, you heard your coach talk about, and I'm sure you guys have been talking all week in practice about the size of the offense and defensive lines you're going to face. When it comes to the defensive line, what kind of confidence do you have in your offensive line to protect you from getting murdered?
Oh, they just keep improving every week. They've improved so much since the first week, and they just keep on getting better, and that's exciting, and I think they'll be able to handle it well.
Now, as a quarterback, you're called to not only throw the ball, also you run some as well. How's it been adjusting to having to see things on the field and adjust to them as they happen in real time?
Oh, it's a lot quicker in high school, and you gotta be able to adjust quicker, and you just learn that from game to game. I mean, you just by experience, you just learn to see little things and be able to keep your eyes down the field, and it's just a learning process, and it's been exciting.
Coach, I saw you nodding your head there. What kind of adjustments has he made in that area?
Oh, absolutely. When it comes to run the ball, I mean, we've kind of talked about don't take unnecessary hits, but man, he loves contact, and it's as a coach with a quarterback, you kind of want to say, oh man, don't take that one, but man, he gets the team fired up when we've had so many games where he just runs over a linebacker. And it's like I said, it's fun to watch on film, knowing that he doesn't get hurt from it. And there's the other side of it when it's happening that you're like, nothing unnecessary, man.
All right, Coach. Well, you brought another player with you, so let's meet him. Tell us about him, his position, and what can we expect from him.
This is David Enns. He is actually, so far, he's been kind of my everything on defense. We started him off playing some linebacker, and then we just realized we had a need on the D-line, and David's motor never stops. And then what you saw last week is, what'd you have, 5 touchdown receptions and 165 yards receiving. I mean, he was just all over the field, offense and defense. And he's a senior that's really stepped up this year, and he's really leading this team. He's an emotional leader, and yeah, I couldn't ask for a better guy.
David, you hear your coach brag on you like that. What does that do to you?
It feels good, but at the same time, I want to stay humble and just worry about staying humble and being a leader to the rest of the team.
You know, there's different styles of leadership. There's the screamer. There's the guy that says, let me run a mile in front of you and show you I'm not dead. You can join me. What kind of leader are you for this football team?
Probably not the screamer one, but I like to, be an example of, show the team what they need to do and to stay positive throughout the game and to have fun while playing this game.
Coach, what does David's leadership, particularly aside from his play, but what does that add to the rest of your team?
He's got an energy level that everybody else just feeds off of, and I know he's being humble, but he's definitely one of our, like I said, an emotional leader who comes out and just gives everything he's got. I don't ever have to worry about David taking a play off. He comes out every time and really just he brings it on defense, and then he brings it on offense as well. So yeah, like I said, he's being humble, but I'll brag on him. He's a good kid.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck. We hope you have a victory, a good win this coming Friday night.
Thank you much.
All right, we'll be right back with more Friday Gridiron Preview after this.
Hi, I'm Chris Jewell, host of High Plains Today, a 30-minute news and information program that airs at noon weekdays right here on TV 23. Hey, do you think you have an idea for something that would make a great segment? Somebody that would make a great interview? What about a community event that needs highlighting? Let us know here at the station. Email us news@kdgltv.com.
Welcome back to Friday Gridiron Preview. I am Dr. Jack. Joining me in studio is Chris Jewell. Chris, a little bit different situation for swapping sides.
I know. This seat is much more comfortable. Maybe it's because it doesn't get sat in as much, and I flattened that one out. Suppose?
It might be.
Yeah, I doubt it.
So we've talked with Minneola. We've talked with South Gray. We've noted that both teams have a very different style of play.
They do.
And we've seen their players. What do you think about the challenge that the passing game for South Gray presents for Minneola?
Well, Minneola's defense, their defensive secondary, those backs and stuff are going to be, if they don't stay with things on Friday night, they're going to be one wore-out bunch. Because, Minneola is averaging well over 200 yards a game just passing in their total offense, and only averaging, 40, 50 yards a game in rushing, where Minneola is the complete opposite. They don't throw much, but they run. So I think the biggest thing for Minneola's defensive secondary is going to be trying to keep up with the passing of the Rebels from South Gray.
It's interesting, too, because talking with the coach from Minneola, he said a lot of people criticize his program for running the same play over and over and over, but he says they'll block it different ways each time. I think one of the keys for them is how effective that blocking is. They may have the size battle won, Minneola does, over South Gray, but South Gray has some athletes and they're really quick, and that always presents some challenges for your big guys.
Yeah, I think, though, Minneola, and talking with them today and talking about the offensive line, they got some big guys. And, when we were talking to them, it was Minneola, now they'll put up as many rushing yards as South Gray will passing yards. So, it's that infamous teeter-totter that you like to say, okay, what are we going to do here?
It's interesting, too, because South Gray averages about 20 points a game. Minneola averages about 30 points a game. South Gray is actually ranked higher than Minneola. They have played some of the same teams and will continue to do that. They're both 1-2, but they've both lost to some pretty high quality opponents.
Well, and it's like Coach Hudson over at South Gray said, you know, their eight-man Division I in the state of Kansas is tough. I mean, you throw Ingalls into the mix and some of those other schools. I mean, there's some good 8-man football teams out there.
I think the big challenge, another big challenge, is injury. Austin Jantz goes down. He is 212 of the 250 yards of offense that they usually average. You go the other side, and the quarterback from Minneola is virtually the same thing, although he does most of the running and very little passing. So, again, an injury at quarterback, and who comes behind them?
Okay, so you look at it from that standpoint, though. You know, you've got Austin Jantz at South Gray. He's a sophomore quarterback. And the quarterback, Haynes, at Minneola, junior, both young guys, putting up a lot of yards. So you kind of look at that and you wonder, okay, as these guys get older, what are these programs going to do then?
That is for sure. I think another thing that we didn't get a chance to talk with the coaches about is special teams play. And when you look at all-purpose yardage for both teams, it's obvious that although they've both played some very challenging schedules thus far, so the stats may not show it, they both are equally good on special teams as well, both in kicking and in returning. So that provides an interesting matchup as well.
So what do you think? Okay, so we got like a minute left here. What do you think? I mean, do you see this as being a close game? I mean, Coach Hahn at Minneola, what a character that guy is. He was fun to talk to. And Coach Hudson, both very nice guys. Yeah. But Coach Hudson, in his first year, Coach Hahn, been in Minneola quite a few years. But, you know, is this going to be a close game? As long as Minneola can stay with them as far as pass defense, I don't know. I think it's going to be a closer game than some people think.
I think we'll know early. I really do. I think because if your secondary is going to get burned, they're probably going to get burned pretty quick, and then you begin to second guess yourself. So instead of hawking to the ball, you stutter, and so we'll see some of that. We saw that earlier with Sublette as Robeson at first ran and then started picking his lanes. Peyton LaPointe from Southwestern Heights did the same thing. So I think we'll see that. So we'll find out.
Okay. Before we get out of here, what's your prediction?
You know, I hate to say it, I think South Gray wins. I will not be surprised in any way if that is inaccurate, because I do think it's going to be that close.
I'm with you. I think South Gray wins, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. I really, really do. I'm with you.
All right, well, that will do it for Friday Gridiron Preview. Don't forget you can watch this episode and all previous episodes by going to our Facebook page at KDGL TV. That'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week.